He can win a few different type of ways, but I'm going with the more experienced person here.
What if Drew can knock him out in the first round?
Then he'll knock him out in the second, or he'll take the decision.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing: he leave that neck out there, Rafael gonna snatch it up, and Drew gonna be tapping. I can tell you that even if Drew hurts him and follows him to the ground, he better be very, very, very careful. Drew Dober versus Rafael Alves. He had the biggest weight miss in history for 145 at featherweight. Dude weighed like 157.5.
So he would have missed weight for a lightweight fight.
Good Lord have mercy. But he was shredded up, man. He was cut up. I don't know if maybe there was a language barrier thing and he thought it was going to be 155 or something. But that's a crazy weight miss. But we got Drew Dober here. And look, if you look at Drew's last few fights, man, you can't really be fooled here. Now, in the beginning of his career, yeah, it was, some of these losses. Sean Spencer, Nick Hine, these people not in the UFC anymore. Ephraim. But then, if you look at his most recent, look, Brad Waddell was in the top 10 up until recently. Islam is fighting for the title. Benil is probably one fight away from fighting for the title. So these are not bad losses. And he's fighting Gamrot.
And the only fight he wasn't winning until he lost was the Islam fight. He never was really winning that fight.
Yeah.
But typically he starts off winning against these elite fighters and he makes certain mistakes, mental mistakes.
Yeah, there'll be some slip up and then it'll be like, oh.
Why are you going for takedowns against submission guys when you're a knockout artist?
Right. So we've seen that, or he'll drop guys and then follow them to their guard. That's stuff he was doing early in his career. Now we got Rafael Alves here, 3 fights under the Zuffa banner so far, and his only loss is not a bad loss. Damir Ismagulov.
The one thing that stands out against Rafael, them 10 losses.
Yeah.
You can't let that go. We can't just let that go.
But we also, over here, Drew Dober got 11 of them, so we can't let that go.
But he's been in the UFC, though. That's a big difference.
And his losses came to certain levels of people recently. Now, one thing I will say is, stylistically, the advantage in the striking department is definitely Drew Dober. But Rafael can hang with him. The thing is, Drew Dober can take it to another level with how hard he can, like with the level of power his punches got and what he can absorb. You can't enter a dangerous zone where even if you might be the more technical guy, you don't want eating them type of shots.
Another thing is, Drew Dober has the most experience. Just think about everybody who he's been in there with. It's not going to be no worse than going in there against Terrence McKinney. It's not going to be no worse than going to the ground with Islam. So Drew Dober going to have the edge when it comes to experience and his opponents, previous opponents.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, one thing I will say is, Drew better not overcommit to no type of punches and end up in no grappling exchanges, because Rafael is a serious submission guy. Now, it's odd because he got 6 submission losses, but I believe those came like way early in his career. It looked like he just didn't have no jiu-jitsu or something. He got choked out a whole bunch. But Drew Dober, boy, I thought they said Brad Tavares. I was going to say, what the heck? But Drew Dober is not the submission guy. You got to think about that too. He got 3 KO losses, but okay, a TKO injury, leg kick. But a majority of his losses come by submission, and Drew ain't a submission guy. So that kind of plays into Rafael.
And the way he pulls the trigger, like when Rafael fought against Mark DeCasey, the way he was able to land a knee and go for the guillotine is second to none. So, and the thing is with Drew Dober, he has a history of making certain mistakes in fights. Do I think Rafael gonna win? I don't think he's gonna win, but
does he have a chance to win?
Yes, absolutely.
100%. I'm going personally with Drew Dober just because of the experience. He was able to keep his composure against Terrence McKinney. Who hasn't Islam taken down and submitted at will?
Well, Drew loses to a certain level of opponents, of competition. Rafael is not up there. He's not up there with the Islams and nah, man.
And there's an asterisk by his name because we got to watch the weigh-ins, because if you show up missing weight, I don't know what was going on with that, but if you don't even show up on weight like that, that's kind of odd. So I want to say Rafael is a live dog in here. Like he is. He can win a few different type of ways, but I'm going with the more experienced person here.
What if Drew can knock him out in the first round?
Then he'll knock him out in the second, or he'll take the decision. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: he leave that neck out there, Rafael gonna snatch it up, and Drew gonna be tapping. I can tell you that even if Drew hurts him and follows him to the ground, he better be very, very, very careful.